I find that this area has both a tremendous amount of beauty in the landscape, but a great amount of variety. There are streams, mountains, some ponds, meadows, farms. It has a little bit of everything. I rarely have to travel more than a few miles from my home to find something to paint.
I think we live in a beautiful little section of New England, of the world, and I think it's our duty to help maintain it.
Well, I believe that inside each of us is a pretty conservation-oriented outlook, and oftentimes it's just really necessary to stimulate that. It is something that's pretty deeply embedded in our human character, but the pace of change is often so rapid that people don't realize until sometimes it's too late that conserving those precious resources that they care about is no longer an opportunity.
I would hate to see this area become much more developed. I think that we are not, I wouldn't say we're at the tipping point or at the edge of where we would lose a significant amount of the quality of life if we develop it further, but I think that edge is within sight.
It's something that I think most of us feel an intuitive sense about, but we don't know how to go about it in many cases. And the Rural Lands Foundation, like many land trusts, give them an opportunity to participate.
I've known about Williamstown Rural Lands for a long time. They have a really good presence in this community and a very excellent reputation for helping people to preserve land and enjoy what's been given to us.
Great.
We walked on this trail for a long time, coming out of Margaret Lindley and coming up toward our land, and we thought that it would be just a natural progression to keep the trail going along Hemlock Brook and to let other people enjoy it as much as we've been able to enjoy it. And frankly, from our standpoint, there were no negatives. The land has no other purpose, really. It should be what it is, and it should be this way forever.
This organization enhances the life of everyone in Williamstown. Conservation enhances everyone's experience of life here in Williamstown. Conserving these view sheds and our agricultural heritage, all of that, it's an integral aspect of what life in Williamstown is all about.
I also see both sides of the argument. You need some development to establish a good tax base and have a viable economy. I think Williamstown has that. I think that now we should be very careful, though, how much more we develop the area. I think it's extremely important to preserve places like this that have remained essentially unchanged for decades, if not a century or two. And the open spaces, I think, are very important to not just the natural world, but for those of us who live here as well.
You're dealing with the citizens of the town, and so you have to have a persuasive case that any particular landscape fits an important conservation objective and is not something that is in conflict with economic development and other social values that are necessary, like affordable housing. It is challenging, but it is the most important part of the overall picture of getting appropriate balance in conservation lands with development lands.
Because with the adequate public land, and that's the key, with the adequate public land, you can cluster the development, and yet people within a very short walk or drive can feel as if they own hundreds of acres. But that's the important thing, is maintaining the public land and the public's access to the land.